Good morning and welcome to Thursday morning's adapted yoga session. So make sure that you're physically fit to do the class. This class is designed or I work it around people with high blood pressure, with diabetes, with back problems, and knee joint problems, things like that. So if you haven't got those problems, you can move it up or take it down. It's all up to you. Do whatever your body feels. Make sure that you've got at least a band today. You probably won't need your blocks, but have them by just in case. So we're going to start off by just bringing ourselves to our mat, and I'll start it in mountain today. So making sure that the legs are in line with the hips, the feet are facing forward. We're engaging the front of the thighs, the inner thighs, the back thighs and the side thighs. We're pulling in the pelvic floor. We're leaving the abdominal free because we're going to breathe into our lower stomach. We're bringing the shoulders back and down, and we can bring our hands into prayer, tucking our chin back in. So we're going to try and do a triangle breath. Sounds a bit weird. We're going to try and breathe in from the lowest rib on our left side. Breathe up to our clavicle. Breathe out down to the outside edge of our right rib, and then hold our breath as we breathe in, or hold our breath as we come across to the other side. So we're going into a triangle. And that's all I want you to think about, trying to do a triangle with your breathing. So here we go. Breathe out first. We're going to take the arms down, and we're going to drop our chin down towards our chest. If you want, you can always give your head a little pull, but don't pull the body forward. Keep the body nice and straight. Then release the arms and bring the head back. So we're going to take it back. So if you need to protect that head, and just lifting and more lifting the chin if you've got neck problems. and bring the head and the arms back down underneath to protect the neck. So we're going to take the neck over towards the side. So we're tucking the chin in, we're bringing the ear towards the shoulder, making sure that we're not leaning over. And if we want, we can just give the head a little pull. With our palm, we're pushing as if we're pushing the hand towards the floor. You feel that stretch through the neck. And then we're letting go. We're bringing the head back up. And again, we're going to make sure the chin's tucked in. And bring the ear towards the shoulder. Pull with the top hand. Push with the bottom hand. Feel that stretch. And again, we're taking the hand off, bringing the head back up. So we're going to turn and look over the shoulder. Again, we don't want the head to drop, we don't want to push it too far. But we're going to see if we can screw our head on a little bit tighter by twisting our head. We want the elbow to stay pulling back. We don't want to be able to pull round the front. So Jay, if you use your other hand, that's it. And then release, bring it back to centre, and let's try the other side. So again, turning the head and just giving it a little bit of a screw back on. Lovely. And bring it back to centre. So we're going to take it into a back cross, so we're going to go forward first. If you need to bend the knees, remember thinking about your back. So I'm going to do it as if I've got lower back problems. If you want to, you can straighten the legs, but you still want to make sure that the back's nice and straight. You don't want to start to curl round. So I'm going to drop the camera down slightly. So from here, we're bringing ourselves down. Now, if you've got blood pressure problems, you want to keep your head in line with your heart. So you don't want to let your head drop down. If you haven't got blood pressure problems, you can let the body drop. But I'm going to stay here in case anyone has blood pressure problems and things. So everybody else is doing that, I'll do it. I'll stay here. So now we're going to breathe in, using our legs to push up. So if the legs are straight, you can bend them, and that'll take that stress off that lower back. When you come up, just take a few breaths, couple of breaths, just to think about how you feel. If you're feeling dizzy, maybe get a chair and bring your hands down onto a chair. So we're going to go down one more time. We're moving forward into a forward bend, pulling the belly in, keeping everything tucked. Breathing maybe into our back, because that might be easier to breathe into. And then pushing back up, nice and slow. Lovely. So we're going to take it into a back bend. Now again, this causes problems with people with blood pressure as well, going backwards as well as forwards. We want to make sure that the neck is not going to just roll back. So we're going to lock our neck before we even start. We're going to push our neck forward, drop it down, and then bring it back up. Now as you bring it to about here, you'll feel that the neck muscles at the back and the neck muscles at the front are now working. Now you don't want this neck to move. You're going to place your hands on your bum and you're going to push your hips forward, pull your elbows towards each other, bend your back, but not your head. Your head should stay in exactly the same place as we just started. And now I can turn my head because I know that the muscles in my neck are working. If I had let my neck drop back and I was just stretching here, but working the back muscles, then I'd feel a lot of strain across here. I'd feel a lot of strain into my shoulders. So we're going to bring ourselves back up. Now if you wanted, on the next one you can always take the hands away and draw them down to the floor. Again, I'm staying here. And again, we're going to set that neck first. Breathe in, go back. Now think about breathing into the chest from the belly all the way up. And it's as if as you get to the top, as you breathe into the top, it should feel as if somebody's pushing you back a touch. Remember, watch that neck. There should be no stretch at the front of the neck. There should be no pinching at the back of the neck. You should be able to hold a normal conversation because the neck muscles are just relaxed. It's just the muscles that are holding the neck in place that are reaching back. So let's bring ourselves back up. So we're going to take it into a side bend. Now again, depending on what your shoulders, your joints are, your blood pressure, you can either have your hand up here if you're okay, you can have it here, you can have it here, and I'm going to stay here. With, again, tucking that chin in, make sure that you're holding the neck muscles. Don't want the head just dropping to the side. So we're reaching down towards the leg. We don't want to roll in, we want to make sure that we're nice and straight. Remember, it's up to you. If you want to raise that top arm, you can do. I'll keep it down because, like I said, most people, if anybody's watching it later on and they've got blood pressure problems, if I do it, they do it. And then bring it back up. So we're going to take it over to the other side. We're going to breathe out. And we don't want that shoulder to lift up. So even if it's here, we don't want to be pulling the shoulder up. We still want to have the shoulder away from the ear. Cheers me up no end seeing the little rabbits go apart. Jump away. And then bring it back up. So let's do one more on each side. Breathe out, slide down. Make sure you're controlling the neck, it's not just flipping over to the side. And if you can concentrate while they nibble on your toes, brilliant. And bring it back up. Must have knew I was talking about it, it stopped and looked at the screen. So reach down to the other side. And then bringing it back up. So we're going to turn to the side. So we're bringing our shoulders round. Again, if you want, you can lift the arms up. You can have them here. It's up to you, whatever you prefer, as long as you've got enough space and you feel okay. So you're working from the shoulder. So it's not the head again. So the head should stay completely in line. You shouldn't be looking over the shoulder. And you're pushing round. The feet stay flat on the floor. The shoulders are level. You're not lifting one up as you're going around. Again, the head's in line. You're working these muscles at the back to pull you round. You're stretching these muscles at the front. We're going to bring ourselves back to centre. And we're going to take it around the other side. And then bringing ourselves back to the centre. So we're going to take it into cat and cow. We're taking our legs slightly apart, turning the toes out, and then if we let our knees bend, the knees should go in the same direction as the toes. If your knees are coming in a different direction, turn your feet to make sure that your knees are always going in the same direction as your toes. So it doesn't matter where your knees are going as long as you move the feet back into that position as well. I'm going to turn sideways. So with this, we're going to bring our hands start off in prayer. We'll start off with our right little finger at the end, so that when we push out, it's the right little finger here. We're bending the knees, we're tilting the pelvis, we're pushing and breathing out. As you're breathing in, you're going to bring your finger and your thumb together. You're going to turn the hand around. You're tilting the pelvis back. You're pulling the shoulders back. You're lifting the head up. You're breathing out. You're curling, bringing the left little finger to the bottom this time. Pushing out. So that the hands and the fingers, the arms, the shoulders all get a stretch. Breathing in, let's take it back. Feel that lower back, the bum. And these are working the meridian lines when you stretch this way through the neck. Let's do 2 more. Right little finger at the bottom. Stretching through the shoulders, then taking it through the chest. Last one. Left little finger at the end this time. Breathing in when you're ready. And breathe out. Bring it back up. Lovely. Bring yourself onto one leg. If you need a wall or you need a chair, hold on to that. We're going to I'm going to drop it down so you can see my feet now. Oh, you will need a block. That's what I need. That's so silly that I am. So with this, we're taking it into a spiral. So you're taking the leg round. Now, if you can't, you can keep your foot on the floor, and that's where mine's going to stay, and draw a line, a circle with your foot. And then bringing it back down. Let's change the weight. So again, it's up to you. Lift the foot, take it out, or keep it down. You're still turning that knee out. You're still bringing it round. Turning the knee out, bringing it round. You're drawing a circle with the leg. Lovely. And bring it down. So now you are going to need your block. Forgot about this one. And we're going to stretch our Achilles. So have the block down. It doesn't matter which direction you've got it. If you want to get hold on to something, but you're going to keep your other foot on the floor anyway, you're putting the ball of your foot over the block, and then you're pushing your heel to the floor. It shouldn't actually touch the floor. If it touches it, put 2 blocks on and pushing the heel down. So it's up to you. It shouldn't actually touch the floor, but some people's might, depending on how squishy your block is. So you're pushing the heel down. Then you're going to come up and go right onto the tiptoe and push your heel forward. So you're really stretching your toes. And then we're going to take it down one more time, pushing that heel to the floor. And then bring it up. Oh, you have your steps there, even better. Up onto your tiptoe. And then bring it down. So just have a think about how your feet are feeling, how your left foot, the foot that you've just been working on, feels compared to the other foot. Is it the same temperature? Is there any tingling, any feelings? Does it feel lighter or better, or exactly the same? There's no difference. It doesn't matter which way it is, as long as you're noticing. So let's do the other foot. So the one stays on the floor. You're bringing it up so the ball of the foot goes on. You're pushing the heel down to the floor. So you're stretching the calf and the Achilles. And then bring it up and put it right onto the tiptoes. Give a stretch to underneath that foot. And let's push it down one more time. And then bringing it back up. And bring it down. Give your feet a little relax. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the knees. So let's bring ourselves into sun salutation. So I'm not going to do it with the chair. If there's anybody watching later on and you want to know how to do it with the chair, watch earlier programs. But I am going to keep it low, so I am going to put my knees down. You don't have to put your knees down if you don't want to. Let's bring ourselves to our mat. Let's just bring ourselves again to remember why we're here, what we want. So bringing yourself into mountain pose, hands into prayer. Close your eyes. Now, all I want you to do is think about you. What do you want? So we're going to breathe in, lifting our arms up. Remember, if you can't go up, just bend back slightly. Breathe out. Take the hands down to the floor. As you're breathing in, you're going to straighten the legs and try and get the back as straight as possible. Now, if your back rolls, you can keep them knees still bent to keep that back nice and straight and still bring it into a half bend. We're going to bring the hands back down. We can step back with our right knee. If you want, you can take it to the floor, push forward. You can stay here, you can lift the arms up, you can lift the arms up again if you're higher if you want. Remember, you can lift that knee off the floor as well. We're taking the hands back down and then we're bringing it up into down dog. Now again, if you've got blood pressure problems, you might find it better to look forward rather than drop the head down. Again, you can walk them knees. We're coming up onto the tiptoes, coming forward on the hands, making sure the elbows are facing forward. Bend the elbows back, bring the chin down, let the chest drop, lift up to Sphinx or Cobra. Take it back down, hands underneath the shoulders, push back, bring it back into down dog. Lift the left leg up, pull it into the chest, step it forward. Move it up if you need to. Let the hips drop, remember, take it to wherever you feel you want to go. Take the hands back down, step in. Lift the head, stretch the arms, lift up. So we're going to do one more. Breathe in, reaching back. Breathe out, taking it forward. Breathe in, come to a half bend. Breathe out, stepping back with the left leg this time. Breathe in, you may want to come up a little bit. Breathe out, come back to down dog. Breathe in, lift onto the tiptoes. Breathe out, move forward to plank. Breathe in. Take it down to Cobra or Sphinx. Breathe out. Back to down dog. Breathe in. Lifting the right foot. Breathe out. Bring the foot through. Breathe in, lifting up, and breathe out, stepping. Breathe in, lift the arms, reaching back. Breathe out, bring the hands back to prayer. Lovely. I'm going to bring that back up. So we're going to take it into Warrior One, but we're going to bring our hands into cow face. So if you need to, have your band. You're going to bring the one that goes up with your thumbs up, the other one's thumbs down. You're bringing it up and you're grabbing hold. Now, whichever elbow's up in the air, you're going to step back with the opposite leg, and you're trying to place the foot down. So I'm going to change it over now so that you can see my feet, because you know what's happening with the arms. So now we're back to the feet. So whichever elbow's up in the air, it's the opposite leg steps back. Now we're in Warrior One, so we want to make sure that this foot at the back is flat down. If you find that you can't get your foot down and it stays up, because you want to keep that hip nice and straight. You don't want the hip pulling back. You want to have the hip straight, but you need to get that foot down. If it won't go, if it's really high, you might find that if you put a block underneath it, that'll help to keep it down. It gives you something to press into. You don't want it up. If that's too high, you can always get a rolled up towel or a cushion or something just to put under the foot so that the foot stays flat down. That's important because we want the weight to be even between the 2 feet. We want the hips to be nice and straight. We don't want to turn in from here. So from there, with the elbow up in the air, you're pushing into the front knee. You're lifting the elbows, reaching back. And your head should kind of rest against your arm. Then we're going to lift and step in. So we're going to take the arms out. We're going to swap sides. So the hand goes up with the band. We take the other hand down. Whichever elbow's up in the air, we're stepping back. We're pushing into the front leg. Pushing into the back knee. Reaching the elbows up. Reaching back. Like I said, if you need to, use a band. I'm going to change the thing in a moment. And again, we're peeling the foot up. We're stepping in. We're bringing the arms out. So we're going to do that one more time. I'll bring the arms up. If you need to use the band, use the band. Protect your shoulders. So we're bringing it up, we're reaching in. We can always walk down. We're stepping back with the opposite leg. We're pulling up and pulling them arms back. As we do that, it should push the chest forward. We can lean the head against the arm. Pushing into that front knee, pushing into that back leg. Stretching them hips. Lovely. And then we're lifting up, stepping in, releasing the hands, changing the band over. Bring it up, bring it in. Step that leg back, flat onto the floor, nice hips, nice square hips. Lift the elbows, pull it back. Use the elbows and you'll find the handle push to that chest. The head can relax back. And again, we're peeling, stepping in, releasing, bringing the hands in and out the same way we got them in. So we're going to take it into Warrior 3, doing the same thing. But we're going to move into, obviously, a lift. So I'll change, we're going to have the same sort of thing, but I'm going to change it around so you can see the feet. So again, we're lifting up, so the right arm's going up, or it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing the opposite arm. We're going to step back into a warrior lunge this time. Bending that front knee. We're going to lean forward over the leg, and when we're ready, we're straightening the front leg, lifting up, trying to bring ourselves even. Bring it back down to warrior lunge. Step it in. Change hands. So whichever elbow is up in the air, it's the opposite foot that goes back into that warrior lunge. We're bringing ourselves forward over the leg. When we're ready, we're bringing all the weight to that front leg, so we come onto the tiptoe at the back. You can just let go, you can hold it there, or you can lift it, pull into your arms, try and get the legs level, or the hips level I should say. I can't turn sideways to look at you without falling over. Okay, lovely. And then bring it back up. Lovely. Right, let's do the one more without me talking. Here we go. And bringing it, bending that front leg, stepping back in. Last one. And bend the front knee, step back, bring it up, release. So just stand and hold it in mountain for again just a couple of breaths. So we're going to bring ourselves down to the floor. Now if you've got a chair by you and you need to, remember to bring yourself down. If it's knee problems, try to go down to your good knee and then bring yourself down to your bum. The same way you're coming back out onto your good knee, bringing yourself up onto the chair. Or if you'll find that both knees are a bit the same, sit on the edge of the chair, lower yourself down. The same thing when you're coming back. Try and use your arms to pull yourself back up onto the chair. Okay? Always make sure that if you're going down onto the floor, there is somebody in the house, and if you do get stuck, you can always call someone and they'll get you back up again. So, from the floor, we're going to take it into elbow plank, and again I'm going to keep it modified so anyone can stay there. The second time I'll do it a little bit, still a modification, but a little bit harder. See how you feel. If you need to, again, you may want to put extra padding underneath your elbows if you find that it hurts your elbows too much. If anything feels that it's too much completely, then stop. Listen to your own body. Listen to especially your back. You're going to pull in your pelvic floor at the same time. So that's why we're holding it the first time, so we can work out what's happening with the pelvic floor and the abdominals. So we're bringing ourselves onto our elbows. Now you can have it as a fist, or you can have your hands flat down. Completely up to you. You're walking the legs back a little bit, staying on with your tiptoes, bringing yourself over so that your shoulders are parallel or in line, sorry, with your elbows. So you don't want them a bit behind, so your bum up in the air. You want them under, over the top. Now, with your belly, if you let your belly out, it should hang down. But as you're pulling it in, you want to try and lift your belly up. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Imagine you want to stop yourself from having a wee, stop yourself from breaking wind. Pull your shoulder blades backwards. Do that thing with the chin. So take the chin down, drop it, curl it back up so that you're working all the muscles in the neck. You're squeezing the stomach muscles, squeeze the legs together, but don't let them move. But imagine that you're squeezing them together. If you drop your pelvic floor, every time you breathe out, try and pull it back up again. But make sure you're not holding your breath. Make sure you're breathing. Breathing into the top of the lungs, into the chest, into the upper back. And then we're going to drop ourselves down, let our arms roll, let your bum go from side to side. Let your head relax. Because you've been holding them muscles in the neck, so you want to make sure that they're relaxed. The neck is relaxed. The neck is relaxed as well. So we're going to take it up again. Now you don't have to move. You can stay exactly and do exactly what we've just done. You don't have to do any more. So we're taking ourselves back up. Still tucking them toes, pulling that belly up, pulling them shoulders back, making sure everything's in line. Then squeezing them stomach muscles, squeezing that pelvic floor. See if you can slide and lift your foot off the floor, one just up, one, and lift it sort of in line. So it's not going up. Then slide it back. Squeeze them stomach muscles, squeeze them abdominals. Try and slide the other foot away. Bring it back. Let's try a couple more. Sliding it out, bringing it back. Sliding it out, bringing it back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. And let yourself down. Let your belly go, let your arms go, let your head go. So we're going to bring it into bow. You're going to bring your elbows in so that you're back into elbows underneath your shoulders. Then you're going to turn one hand in so that it's underneath. Flex the foot, reach round, see if you can grab. Now again, if you can't grab, use the band. Hook it around your foot anywhere it can go and just pull it in. Okay, so if you want to just take it to there, you can just pull it in. If you can grab hold. Use that front arm to push you up. Look forward. Flex that back foot. Have the fingers on the outside, the thumb on the inside. Now try and lift your knee off the floor and push your foot to the ceiling. Remember, if you want to do 2, you can always do twice, do the double one. And then we're bringing it down. We're going to swap that hand so it comes underneath. We're reaching back, grabbing hold of the foot, flexing the foot, looking forward, lifting the foot towards the ceiling. And let's change sides. Let's try that one more time. And let's change sides, last time. And bring it down. Let yourself drop into a dark position. So if you can, let your head, the top of your head touch the floor so that your nose is clear to breathe. Your palms are turned up, your shoulders are dropping down. We're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders and we're pushing up and we're pushing back to child. Keeping your hands where they are, just letting your bum drop down as far as it can go. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go anywhere, but don't let the hands move. Keep them where they are and you'll feel the stretch through the back muscles. And we're bringing ourselves back up. Now the next version, this is rabbit. Up name, as you've got rabbit there. But again, if you've got high blood pressure, even low blood pressure, you may find going up onto your head or putting any pressure on your head cause your blood pressure to rise. And it's the rising, if you've got blood pressure, high blood pressure, the rising is the bad bit. It'll go even higher. If you've got low blood pressure, then your blood pressure will raise. But for low blood pressure people, when you come out of it, it'll be the drop. Because it'll drop, your blood pressure will drop really quickly. So again, that's not great for people with low blood pressure because the blood pressure will drop really quick. On both of them, you can feel really dizzy. And that's again, the blood pressure, and that can happen to anybody, whether you've got blood pressure problems or not. So you have to come out of these very slowly. So the full version, I'll show you that first and then I'll show you the adapted version. The full version, again, if you want, put an extra cushion down. You're coming into hero's pose. You're going to try and get your head, your hands are there to support. You're going to try and get the top of your head down. And then using your hands down and your feet, you can move your bum up and down. You can go side to side. You can just go around in a circle. You can do anything you want while you're here. When you're coming out, you stay here for about 2-3 breaths. Tuck your chin in and use your hands to push you up, keeping the head down. Then once the body's up, you slowly lift the head. And then again, you'd stay here and just think, how do I feel? Do I feel sick? Do I feel dizzy? How does my stomach feel? Does it feel, ugh? There's lots of different things that can happen, so check everything. Now, if you know, my blood pressure is terrible, I know I can't do it. Then what you can do is use your hands and press on your head. You can press with your fingers, can push down on the head, push in, anything you want, because what it does is it's still stimulating blood to that region. Any kind of tapping, any kind of pushing will help to bring blood flow to the head. As the same thing that happens when you've got your head down. So I'm going to stay just doing this. If you wanted to go into rabbit, then you can, but I'm not going to force you to go into rabbit. So I'm going to stay here, and I'm just going to do some pressing on my head. So again, anybody with blood pressure problems may want to stay here rather than going upside down. Also gives me a chance to watch yous at home. So be very cautious. Everything should be done slowly. You're just thinking about what's happening through the body. And for us, I'm pressing everywhere. I'm even going down into the back of the neck here. Around the ears. Pressing into the forehead. Which is the same thing that people will be doing when they're on the floor. They're moving their head in different positions and forcing blood into the different parts of the body. And there's different pressures that you can do depending on how much you're lifting your bum. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back to child if you're doing the rabbit position. Stay there. 3 good breaths. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Keeping that chin tucked down. So you can let the blood gently go down, bringing itself back down. And then lastly, bringing the head back up. Good. So like I said, have a think. How do you feel? Are you feeling okay? Because if you've been upside down, we're going to finish with a half headstand, not a full headstand, because I'm not there and I don't like you to do it with it when I'm not there. And I always prefer you to have a wall. And I can say there's only one wall in one house that you've got a dartboard on, and the other one's got a radiator on. Or you're heating to the settee. So half headstands only today, not full headstands. But again, as long as you feel okay after doing rabbit, you should be okay to put an extra little bit of pressure when we go into half headstand. But again, I will carry on and do a version for people with blood pressure that can't even do half headstand. So we'll do legs up the wall. So always listen to your body. So with this, we're going to strengthen the neck because we're going to be standing a bit more on the neck. We've done stretching for the neck at the beginning. Now we're going to strengthen the neck. So you're going to do the same sort of forward movement, but you're going to stop it with your hand. You're going to place the palm of your hand onto the hardest part of your head, the skull. And then as you breathe out, you're going to push your head down. But with your eyes, you're going to try and look right down in between your legs. Or if you've got straight legs, you can have straight legs. It doesn't really matter. You can sit on a chair and do this as well. But you're pushing with the arms, you're pushing with the head. So the shoulders, the hands, the arms, they're all working at the same time that the neck is. And then we're going to release. So we're going to try and take our head backwards, but again we're going to stop it with our hand, but we're going to look up as high as we can. So we're holding, we're going to try and push our head back. It shouldn't move, but our eyes go up. But we're trying to push back and we're trying to stop it with our hands. And relax. So we're going to bring our head over to the side, but again we're going to stop it, and we're going to try and look down to the floor just past our knee or to our knee. So we're going to try and turn the head, but we're looking down. But again, the head shouldn't really move. There shouldn't be much movement in the head because we're stopping it. We should feel all these muscles down the neck working. And relax. Let's try the other side. So again, as if we're going to turn, look down onto the floor. And relax. And now we're going to twist the head, but again we're going to stop it. We're turning the fingers backwards, still placing them here, but we're going to try and look through our arm. So we're going to turn our head, but we're looking through here with our eyes. And bring it back, and let's change sides. And relax. So, I'm going to show you the version or a version of headstand. If you have, like I said, always try to make sure if you are going to do anything that you're by a wall so that protects you. But I don't want you to go into headstand. I want you to keep your feet on the floor. You can again use something to put your head on. So you can either have your hands in this position so that catches the head behind, and then this uses a triangle, or you can have your hand in this position so that your hand's a triangle, and that's always my preferred one. So you're placing your head flat down, your hands down, you're tucking your toes, and you're lifting the knees. And then when you're coming down, roll back, stay here for again 3 to 4 breaths. Use your hands, tuck your chin in, lift yourself up slowly. Okay? Now, if blood pressure or neck problems, or you've got a nice hairstyle which is all up on top and you can't get your top of your head on the thing, then bring yourself close in as you can to a wall and swing the legs up. If you haven't got a wall, you can just do it and hold on to the legs and have the legs up here. And this is still an upside down. It's still going to bring all the fluids away from the legs. It's going to, again, bring the knees upside down, the hips relax. Everything comes back into this part of the body, which is the same that happens when you go upside down, except you're putting pressure on the neck, putting pressure on the head, forcing more blood into the head. With this, you're just bringing blood towards the vital organs, so the kidneys, liver, heart, spleen, everything is getting a nice flush of blood. At the same time, you're getting rid of all the water, all the rubbish that's accumulated in the legs from standing and walking. You're taking pressure off the knees and the hips and the ankles. So if you've got arthritis or any joint pain, then this is really helpful. You can flex and point the toes in these positions and feel what starts to work in the ankles and the calf. So you're doing all this, things that you probably wouldn't be able to do, even going up onto tiptoes, that you probably wouldn't be able to do if you were standing on it, because it'd put pressure on the knees. You can lock that knee out if you wanted to, keep it a little bit bent, and understand the difference between locking and flexed, as opposed to, again, when you're doing it standing up, you've got it's a lot, putting a lock on your legs, put an awful lot of pressure on the knee joints. So I wouldn't never say that doing while you're standing, but while you're here, there's no pressure on the knees whatsoever, so you can have a mess about. You could take the legs apart and work the inner thighs. You can always hold it so that they don't go too far. Again, you could point or flex or turn them in and out. And again, just examining what happens to the knee joints, to the hip joints in this position. You could bring the feet in, get the soles of the feet to touch, bring it down into an upside down butterfly, which again may feel a bit easier if you have problems doing it the right way round. It takes all that pressure off your spine, and again, so you're not going in. So a lot of people, when they do this, their spine curls in because they're sitting up. In this position, the spine's nice and natural, and that way you can just let the legs go from side to side to work the hips. So upside down in this position is brilliant because it works, it allows you to work them legs if you've got joint problems. But it also does the same thing that going upside down does. It still flushes the internal organs, the vital organs, with nice fresh blood. So we're going to bring ourselves out of this. We're bringing our legs down and we're giving ourselves a little hug. If they're upside down for too long, you may find blood comes away from the legs, the feet, which again is okay if it's fluid, but sometimes you don't want to jump out of this. You're going to roll yourself over onto your side and stay here just for a few seconds so that you can see, make sure that everything goes okay, all the blood flows back down into the legs. You may feel it going back down into the toes, and it will be like nice fresh blood, like a whoosh of blood into the joints. And then bringing yourself back up. Now, if you did headstand, if you're on your head for any length of time, make sure that you may want to do a little bit of rolling of the neck to help just relax it. And again, a little bit backwards and forwards. Then we're going to bring our legs in. And so I'm not going to get you to lie down again, just because if you've got blood pressure problems, I don't want you going up and down, up and down, up and down. So bringing your feet in line with your hips, having your hands down, you're just going to let your legs drop from side to side. And then bring your feet in. So again, you can cross your legs, you can stretch your legs. If you want to lie down, you can lie down. It's completely up to you. It's again, like I said, if your blood pressure, then if I lie you down and get you back up, your blood pressure changes. And again, you're going to get up off the floor again. So we don't want you lying down too much. So yeah, make sure you're nice and warm, because your body temperature will drop the minute you stop moving. So let's bring ourselves into a position that's comfortable for us. And we're going to do that triangular breath, trying to breathe in, up to the collarbone, breathe out, down to the other opposite side of the rib. Hold the breath as it goes across here. Now you can count and try and make them an equal triangle, or you can just let it go as it wants to. Make sure you're not, when you're holding the breath, you're not tensing and holding yourself in, and then as soon as you have to breathe in, it's like that everything is nice and slow. So you can make it as big or as small as you want to. If you can, try and think about breathing into one lung and breathing out of the other lung. But if you're going to do that, make sure that you reverse it at some point so that you're doing even on both lungs. Now that sounds a bit weird, but have a go. You never know. You might be surprised. So we'll start with a breath out. We're going to take 3 big breaths in. Breathe in through the nose, stretch up, and breathe out through the mouth. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Any problems, please let me know. I'm just going to turn everything off. Bye.